complex world with complex problems, but I believe young people have a huge role to play in creating a better future. As you can see today, young people are blessed with innate curiosity, energy, creativity, and it's often combined with an intense passion to change the world. But imagine if you take young people and you give them two other capabilities. If you give them the capability to see themselves as committed global citizens who are engaged with their communities from a local level right through to an international level. And you also give them the leadership skills to be effective leaders with the direction, capability and confidence to make change. Then you give them the chance to design projects around the passions that they have. That's when magic happens. When Mehrdad and I founded High Resolve 6 years ago, we had an idea, and we had the sense that this idea could have huge potential. It's grown from a pilot, from a very small pilot in our son's school, to reaching over 25,000 students, and next year we're projected to reach over 40,000 students. To give you an example of what can happen when you engage young people and you give them these skills, I'd like to share with you the story of just one group of students that have gone through this experience. It's a story about a group of boys in Sydney at a public high school, and they chose, as part of what we call their community action project, to take on an issue of global significance. But perhaps what's most interesting is that it's about a subject that you probably wouldn't expect teenage boys to be most interested in. This is their story.
Last year, as part of High Resolves, we were challenged to make a presentation about gender inequality.
And you think how widespread the issue of gender...
And we were trying to show our school ways that they could decrease this issue.
My attitude before I started it didn't exist. I was in denial. And then I saw the stats, and slowly it dawned on me that there is a problem here.
I think gender inequality is a big issue in the world because half the world are women, so I don't think it's fair that one half of society is considered higher than the other half. So that's something that we continued in Year 11 as a group called GenEc, and this is one of the things that we're going to be doing. Today we're presenting to the male champions of change, and they're the CEOs of some of the top businesses in Australia.
I'm Andrew Stevens, I'm the CEO of IBM.
I'm Stephen Roberts, I'm the CEO of Citi.
I'm the CEO of Woolworths.
Origin Energy and Macquarie Group.
They're aiming to promote gender equality within the community and their workforces.
And we're here to present about the issue of gender inequality. We realised just how big the problem is and how much difference we could make due to the fact that we were boys.
Obviously you're having a big impact. Have you thought, as this has gathered momentum, in your wildest dreams, what do you really think you would really like to be able to achieve?
What we can do right now is raise awareness, because if you don't know what the problem is, then you can't actually solve it. Because it's a problem that's throughout all of society. It's something that you need to deal with at the top at business level, at society, like people in universities, and down the bottom through education at schools. And it's only when you start dealing with it at all those levels do you actually start to get a solution.
I thought it was great how it's not just us learning from them, that they were very open to suggestions that we had, and I really thought that it wouldn't be such an issue in Australia. Well, one of the issues that they raised was how it's important for us, when we're looking for jobs, to actively question businesses about the practices they have in gender equality and what they're doing to improve it. And I think that's important because it's a way that we can actively make a change. We are the workforce of tomorrow, and we're interested in this sort of issue.
I think it's important that the younger generations, such as us, are meeting some of these big CEOs from the male champions of change, because it inspires both generations.
An important thing that we've learned is to not just assume we know what other people want and how they feel, but actually ask them.
Problem well defined is half solved, and what you tried to do is to define the problem.
We can't really make a difference if we just assume we know the answers. We actually need to ask what the problem is, ask how we can make a difference.
In our own business, the single biggest changes come from allowing women to talk about what they need to have an equal footing with the men in our business.
In the long term, we hope to build awareness of GenEc, reach more people, and have a real impact on gender equality.
It shows that we've come quite a long way since we started this project. To be able to get an audience with such important people, it shows that we've actually achieved something, and we're really happy about that.
I continue to be inspired by these young men. Not only have they given their presentation to over 1,000 of their peers, but a YouTube clip about their project has been viewed all over the world, from Saudi Arabia to Argentina, and it's been featured on blogs, websites, and even in conferences. They even had a school in Ghana approach them to see whether they could start a similar project in their boys' school in Ghana as well. These young students, like many others who've gone through the program, have really embodied Gandhi's quote of being the change that you want to see in the world. Or as one student said to me last week, in this age of collective leadership that we now find ourselves, to think about being a leader, not just the leader. Now imagine if thousands of young people or teenagers had this same direction, capability and confidence, and they could apply it to some of the other issues that we face as a society. Young people have got so much to offer, and I think this is something that they've learnt as they tread this lifelong path of leadership, as they begin this journey, that they can choose, instead of to chase that elusive definition of success, that they can instead choose to tread a path which is more fulfilling and rewarding, that of looking at their lives through the lens of contribution.